All right, good morning, everybody. Eddie DeBlock here of the Relic Extractors. I just did a couple rounds of pest control this morning, and I was in the area. This road here that I'm on leads down to the Erie Railroad tracks that you can go over and get to the Delaware. But I always loved this literally roadside creek here, and you don't want to get caught on the property. You'll see why right there. It belongs to a game club, but I'm betting like right in that little pool right there, literally 5 feet off the road. There's some native brookies, and way down into there. Let me see. Sorry about that, guys. Right down into this hole right here. Very, very small. I mean, it's no wider than like maybe 12 feet, 15 feet at its widest point in this area, at least anyway. But this is a pretty long, windy road, so I'll save some space here for the next clip. All right, here's a nice little spot right here where the one little stream, I'm assuming this comes out of what they call Walker Lake, converges with this little stream here. That'd be a nice little area right there to hit. And then it shoots off, nice little tiny waterfall there. It's flowing pretty good. I mean, we've had quite a bit of rain, but normally these little creeks are not rushing like this. That's beautiful. The water looks beautiful. The stream looks beautiful. It's a beautiful area. And as you can see, it can be quite precarious trying to navigate it, but I'll guarantee you there's some fish laying right in there. All right, moving on to the next. All right, guys, that there is the Delaware on the Pennsylvania side. A house across the river right there is 97, and if you go back this way, hold on a minute, if you go back this way on that side of the river, it brings you back down into Port Jervis, New York, and Hawk's Nest. Well, mostly Chef Annie, you've seen her put some videos up of Hawk's Nest in the past, but it's very shallow in here. You can pretty much walk across it, this area. And you used to be able to drive in here, but maybe there was some vandalism going on in these houses. So, now they have cameras up, and the other driveway up here where my truck is parked has a chain across it. These are not, full-time residences, private property owned right down to the river, so it is a good spot to look for insulators, though, because right up here where I am parked is the railroad. You literally got to cross the railroad here to get to these little spots. So let's just take a quick walk, and mostly common insulators like Hemingway 42s and 40s, stuff like that. But there's still a couple up here on the poles. I'll see if I can catch some for you. Alright, so there's a couple on here. The one on the bottom pole on the outside there is a ceramic one. And then on the second pole, hard to tell from here. It could be a beehive or a number 40. It's kind of hard to tell, and I got a really bad glare here. So, and then on the end here, close to the pole, that clear one is more than likely plastic. Came out in like the 60s or something like that. I don't know. I'm not highly educated on insulators, but I like them nonetheless. And for those who don't know, if you are an insulator hunter and you're new to it, if you see a pole standing, I think the spacing if my memory serves me correctly, is 70 feet apart. So if for some reason you don't see a pole for a while, just try and kick off, 70, guesstimate 70, 80 feet, and you might see a down pole, or you might see some insulators on the ground. So, all right, let's see what else we can find. All right, guys, here's a perfect example of what I was trying to explain, the 70-foot rule. So we got this pole here, and then the next one is way down there, right in there. So somewhere in between, there's a down pole, more than likely where all this barberry is down here off the sides. Also, from what I understand, general rule of thumb, technically I'm trespassing on railroad property, but I'm just walking the side of the tracks here. Anything off of each rail, 40 feet off of each rail, is railroad property. So anything that falls past that 40 foot is free for the taking. So yeah, I would say somewhere laying down in this barberry here. Sometimes you'll see like where they cut the pole. But yeah, I would say somewhere right in here, more than likely, is a down pole. This actually could be it right in here. I see a couple railroad ties too, old ties. And I have found some Thomas Edison battery oil bottles along the tracks here too, a few times. So yeah, somewhere in there's a pole. You would obviously probably get a better view from it from down there, that private property. You can see where the road kind of cuts down. But like I said, you can't do that anymore. All right, we'll get back at you. Well, there's definitely a pole laying down in there somewhere behind these barberries. See, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's some black wire running right down in front of this maple tree behind the bush. You can see it in front of the maple leaves there. I can't see it on the phone right now, but so the last pole is right there, and I think it's a little bit longer than 70 feet, but this could be 140. So there's a down pole to the left, and then there's definitely one down in here. And that's another thing. If you can't really find a pole, a lot of these times you'll see that wire. You just follow that wire, and you'll find a pole. And as steep as this is, it's probably insulators all the way down at the bottom in there, because they will roll if they land right. So, all right, guys, I'm going to head back to the truck and see what else we can add on to this video. So stay tuned. All right, guys, well, I'm back at the truck, and we're going to go explore another area, but I have walked this down about 2 miles in the past. I just can't do it anymore. And used to be a house right here on the corner where the road comes into the tracks here. Used to be a house right here, and there was a small surface dump, like a little trash pit right there. It wasn't anything really old. But like where you can see the moss right here on the rocks, I think that's where the steps used to go up to the house right there. So what I'd like to get is one of those electric bikes with the big fat tires on them. That cruise up there in no time on a full charge anyway. I'd have to get a rack for the back of the truck and all that, and a little tight on the cash to do that right now, but it's a nice goal to be able to explore things a little bit further. All right, we'll get back at you. Pure mountain spring water. Fill up a gallon and you can drink this right out of the stream.